I hate that question. Sell me this pen. It's such a cliche, an absolute cliche. Yeah, unless you're going for like a sales interview, you're probably not going to encounter this question. It's not generalized to business. Like if you're going for an accounting position or you're going for a coordinator or general manager position, they're not going to ask you, sell me this pen. That's what you ask like sales trainees kind of thing. Anyway, if you don't know about this question, it's been popularized by movies like The Wolf of Wall Street. You guys seen that? I remember that was like a big thing, 10 years ago, something like that. Anyway, basically this question, the trick to answering it is for the candidate who's asked the question, they need to ask the recruiter a bunch of questions. They sell the pen by learning about the customer and adapting how they position the pen to the tastes and needs of the customer. That's how that works. So a bad answer would be like, oh, this is a great pen. It's got 4 colors and it isn't dry. It's there when you need it, and it's big, so you won't lose it. Like, no, that's a fail for that question. The way to answer the question, as I understand it, is to like ask the customer, so what's your favorite movie, or what's your favorite pastime, something like that. And they say, oh, golf, something like that. You go, okay, yeah, well, this pen, I don't know if you realize this, but Tiger Woods loves these pens. This kind of traditional Bic 4-color pen, the kind that you used to get in the 50s, he loves these pens. It's the only kind of pen he'll ever use. There are a couple of variations. One is a variation where you just make up crap. You say like, oh, this exact pen, this was used by Tiger Woods. Like that kind of thing. And then the person goes, oh, so you could end up selling them the pen for $100 or something like that. Or there's a variant where, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to just lie and make up like falsehoods to sell the pen. You have to like do it more realistically. I'm not sure when they expect you to do the former, when they expect you to do the latter. I'm not sure. It's, as I said, this question is only asked when you're interviewing entry-level salespeople. You know what I'm saying? More experienced salespeople, to my understanding, they don't ask that question because it's so stupid. You would rely on your track record to speak for your value as a salesperson. You know what I mean? Last year, I did $1.4 million in sales volume, just personally. That's why you would hire me, not based on like my answer to sell me this pen. Let's do an experiment together. Hopefully you understand what I'm doing here. I'm trying to encourage people to use AI tools. So let's try it out. Okay, so if I'm in a job interview and I'm up for a sales position or marketing position, and I get the question, sell me this pen, what is the best answer? Okay. Yeah, sell me this pen. It's not only about the pen, it's how you think, what they're really testing. Can you ask questions to understand the customer, understand a need, understand urgency or a value, right? Best approach, ask, then sell. So don't sell right away, show curiosity and control. Before I do, can I ask, how often do you use a pen? Like things like this, right? Identify the problem, look for a pain point. Now position the pen. This pen is your solution to your pain point, right? And then that always works for sales, by the way. Would you just give it a try? Where that's useful, by the way. I know nobody probably cares about this here, but it's like if you're a new, young upstart company and you're trying to get, institutional customers and that traditionally go to your established competitor and you want to just get your foot in the door, you can do like a free sort of offer where they practically pay nothing. But you say, listen, come on, we're new, just give us a chance and you won't regret it. That's very persuasive. And they'll give anyone a chance once. The problem is the challenge is being able to get them to come back to you over and over again, right? Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. So that's where you can look up some basic answers. This is a basic question. You can look up basic answers for that and do that kind of thing. I didn't come up through sales. I came up through operations. So personal selling is not really my background, but hopefully that answers your question.